The second world champion, Emmanuel Lasker, said that the hardest game to win is the winning game. By that, what he meant is that when a player gets into a winning position, there's always this difficulty in converting the advantage. You see, this is where a lot of chess players believe that this is the moment they are supposed to win, and they don't realize the challenges, the difficulties that playing such a position present. This is why the Remote Chess Academy, with me, International Master Valeri Lilov, have decided to create this course on how you can avoid key mistakes that could possibly lose your advantage. The course of converting your advantage into a full point essentially contains 10 video lessons with more than 200 minutes of video training, useful tips, great ideas, typical games, and a lot of techniques, more importantly, concepts that you could follow directly into your next game. How do you convert an advantage without missing it, without giving up any counterplay or chances to your opponent? The theoretical lessons you will find in that course will also be supported by 50 highly annotated games on the practical part, which will show you how masters use these techniques to perfection. You also have the opportunity to think actively by actually pausing the video and trying to figure out the different ways on how these techniques could work through the whole games and different ideas that the masters are trying to figure out. Then you have the chance to implement that in your next game, or at least train to implement that until you get as good as the masters. We're beginning with the first video lesson that will help you understand the problems and challenges that most chess players begin and face once they have the advantage. Out there, you'll find out the useful tips in some modern games from the amateur perspective, the specific difficult situations and questions that go through each amateur's mind when he actually gets into a successful position. Now, answering those questions is going to help you to get through the first stage. In the second lesson, you will already see how those ideas are actually utilized on a top level. They're as simple and as effective, yet they work on every level. It's quite important to understand that avoiding complications when you're trying to convert an advantage is what I'd say the fundamental core of each and every one of those techniques. That leads us to our third lesson that ultimately illustrates all these useful tips and ideas in a very cohesive order. You get to realize how each of them can be used at what time and what sort of questions to ask yourself, no matter what type of an advantage you have. And essentially, these are only the first 3 lessons of the incredible course. I'd like to remind you that it contains 10 of those, each one structured behind how the masters think and how an amateur can apply those techniques in his own very next game. In one of the Remote Chess Academy surveys, you vote me as one of your favorite authors, and finally, I'm getting the opportunity to repay you that trust by actually creating and setting up this comprehensive course in order to help you where you need most. Essentially, this is a golden opportunity for you to study the course, apply the techniques, and get as good as you can be in the most important stage, which is transformation. Learning how to actually get the advantage and then use it to get a full point. That will not only help you to increase your FIDE rating, or any rating as of that matter, but you'll also get an insight into what makes you fail and how you can avoid it and how you could be more successful. Please note that this course is suitable for any players from beginner to intermediate and advanced, highly qualified players. It teaches, as I mentioned earlier, the fundamental techniques that work on every level. But more importantly, if you like to improve yourself in terms of middle game and learn new techniques so you could actually stabilize your game, can make more solid results, this is certainly a course you don't want to miss. So this is International Master Valeri Lilov. I do hope that you find my new course interesting and useful, and I wish you good luck with utilizing all the techniques that I'm trying to teach in every lesson from that course.